Palestine Action have launched another attack on Britain. This time, they have attacked a nursery by smearing feces all over the handle to the door in order to poison the children. Thankfully, children noticed, or rather parents noticed, and this attack was thwarted. This comes just one day after the firebombing of a Labour MP's office. It also comes after 1,000 members of the organisation sat outside Parliament Square openly admitting their support for tea, and indeed the attack that we saw on the RAF plane. This is becoming a major problem. We now have a jihadi organisation which is supported by both Iran and the political left in this country. A dangerous, dangerous mix, which the last time we saw it on this level, we saw the fall of the Shah of Iran and the installation of the Ayatollah Khomeini. Hello everyone, this is Andre Walker. We were trying to get to 200,000 subscribers, still haven't got there, but please do help by clicking below. And also, if you click the bell notification icon, it's the best way to guarantee you get all my videos as soon as they are released. Well, I find Palestine Action absolutely repulsive. I'm not impressed by those little old ladies that sit out in Parliament Square saying, I support Palestine Action. That'll get clipped out. They are people who are supporting a genuine tea organisation. We know that MI5 had information about what they were attempting to plan. When they say direct action, they're talking about damaging property. They're talking about attacking people. They're talking about firebombing. They're talking about smearing feces on the doors of offices and shops and synagogues. And of course, they're talking about damaging the defence infrastructure of the United Kingdom. These people are an absolute disgrace. So let's talk about what's happened. The precise details and the precise locations have not been announced in the press in order to protect those people who are the victims. But imagine your 3-year-old went to a nursery and Palestine Action have smeared feces all over the handle to the door. We've talked before about the fact that bacon was put on the handles of mosques. And you know what? I think that shouldn't have happened. But I think that this ups the ante far more considerably than it ever should have been. Those children should have a right to go safely to their schools. But what did we talk about yesterday on this channel? Sharon Hodgson, the chairman of Labour Friends of Israel. Now, we'll tell you, the Conservative friends and Labour friends of going on a free holiday, I honestly do not support membership of those things. I think they're a waste of time and I think they're just free junkets. Sharon Hodgson is a moron who presumably just wants a free holiday in Tel Aviv in the sun. But nonetheless, officially, she is a lobbyist for Israel, and she has had, first of all, bricks through the window. Secondly, blood on your hands spray painted on the walls, which she actually couldn't get off, and then her office firebombed. This level of violence is increasing, and we've been talking on this channel right across the internet of the situation with Charlie Kirk. You know, how long before Palestine Action have their first fatality? I mean, let's remember what happened in the case of Mike Freer, the Member of Parliament for Finchley and Golders Green. Mike Freer was perceived to be gay and Jewish. He actually wasn't. He was gay, he wasn't Jewish. But his office was burnt down and he received multiple death threats. And he said that he was going to stand down as an MP as a result of that. I said, and Asher Gould said in our show on Talk, we said, send in the army. Get the tanks out if necessary. Lock up these 1,000 Palestine Action people for life if necessary. I would rather have a Palestine Action person in prison than a burglar. I don't like burglars, but let's be realistic. The Palestine Action people are more dangerous. And the reason we said that is because once you start pandering to tease, you never stop. So let me tell you what happened. Within 3 weeks of Mike Freer resigning as an MP, or standing down rather, he can't really resign as an MP. Geeks out there will know why. But within 3 weeks of him standing down as an MP, we had to change the British Constitution in order to placate Palestine Action. How did we do it? There was not going to be a meaningful vote on whether Britain condemned the Israeli occupation, the Israeli counter-terrorism operation in Gaza, which led to a brief occupation of the territory, which is ongoing. when we weren't going to have a meaningful vote, Lindsay Hoyle, the Speaker of the House of Commons, said, I want to change the Constitution to force a meaningful vote, the Constitution as listed in Erskine May. And what was the reason he gave? He said that if he didn't do this, MPs would be killed. Hang on a second. We're now changing the British Constitution under threat of violence from Palestine Action. And then you tell me that these little old ladies holding placards are decent, reasonable, honourable people trying to stop a genocide. No, they're not. They're people that have threatened the death of our own members of parliament. What I said we should have done is no meaningful vote, and we should have rounded up the people responsible for these threats. And if every member of parliament has to go down every street in an armoured personnel carrier, buy the armoured personnel carriers. But then what we do is we start saying to people, and I think we have to do this, we have to say, if you don't like Britain, you need to go somewhere where you do like. And I want to introduce you today the right to defect law, which is a bill I would bring in if I was ever a member of parliament. What it says is that in a multicultural society, you have to have the right to fight for the organisation or the country that you believe in and that you love, like Shamima Begum. In fact, I would have called it Shamima's Law to make it helpful for everybody. And what happens is this. You are able to declare that you are no longer loyal to the United Kingdom. You get a free flight to whichever country you believe is more appropriate for you, £5,000 in cash, plus you also have to surrender your passport. And then when you get to somewhere like Afghanistan, you can have a cruise missile for lunch, as far as I'm concerned. But we need to start doing that, because what is the truth about Palestine Action? The truth is they are a division of the Iranian security services, just like the Houthis, just like Hamas, just like Hezbollah, and they need to be stopped on that basis. And I would happily, like we've done before, have a prisoner exchange. We could say that we will send all of these little old ladies to Tehran in exchange for the Israeli hostages in the caves under Gaza. I think that's a wholly reasonable thing. Now, look, once again, I'm no obsessive about Gaza. I'm no obsessive about Israel. I personally believe that you render unto Caesar that is Caesar's. And if Gaza is a place for the Gazans, then the Gazans should be allowed to administer it as they see fit. I do believe that there ought to be nation building within that. I personally would put a Jordanian governor in and put Jordanian police on the streets. But we have it. But there you have it. But that's not our problem. Our problem is what is happening in Britain. And time again, we are being told that the Islamic way is more important than the traditional British way. I reject that. I don't accept that. And I don't accept that the most important issue for Britain is Gaza. I say the most important issue for Britain is the cost of living crisis, uncontrolled immigration, NHS collapse, education in crisis, the amputation of the genitals of children, and that abuse that took place at the Tavistock Clinic. Those are the big issues that face us. And when I see little British children being forced to stay away from their nursery because of the way that somebody's behaved towards them, and I say that there is a threat now of those children being attacked and potentially killed, I say it has gone too far and action needs to be taken, not Palestine Action. Please do subscribe. We're desperate to get to 200,000. Till next time, goodbye.